Hello and welcome to the next stream of our #DiscoverLC virtual open event. We are covering all things Leicester College this week, which means not only we're covering courses, we're also covering all of the other ways students can get involved in the college. So we are joined by our student enrichment team, or the SET team, and a member of our students' union to talk all things student enrichment, all things students' union, everything you can do outside of your courses that will really give you guys the best time at Leicester College. Now we have a lot of people to talk to you today because there's a lot to cover with SET, so do prepare yourselves. But let me sort of introduce you to our wonderful team. We'll start with Dina. Hi Dina, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good.
So I'm Dina. I'm co-team leader with Maxine Chambers, and between us we lead the student enrichment team and all the activities that we do.
Very nice, very short and succinct. That is what we like. Next up, we have Richard. Hi, Richard.
Hi, Ashton. You okay?
Yeah, not too bad, thank you.
Good. My name is Richard White. I'm part of the SET team. I am a student liaison officer. I think I've been working with the college for about 12 years now. I work part-time, and my other job is a youth worker, so it all comes together a little bit with what we're doing. I run the independent living sessions, and you'll probably see me around all the 3 campuses in the social spaces as well.
Amazing, cool. Next up, we have Craig. Hi, Craig.
Hi, Ashton. You all right?
Yeah, I'm not too bad, thank you. What would you do if I just said no? That's what I'd like to do, because everyone else is I'm all right, but I
just believe you.
Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself as well?
Yeah, so my name's Craig White, as we've discussed. I'm a member of the SET team, so I'm a student liaison officer, and my primary responsibility is for the student voice, which includes the student union, course reps, and super reps, who get involved in a lot of different facets across the college. I've been at the college now for 17 years, believe it or not, so quite a long time. And like Richard, I work over 3 sites, so you'll probably see me around each of the sites.
Fantastic. And next up, talking of the SU, we thought we'd bring someone from the SU to sort of talk to you. So next up, we have Trisha. Hiya, Trisha.
Hey, Ashton. Hey, guys. I'm Trisha. I'm LGBT officer for the student union, and I've been here for 1 year so far.
Cool, and we'll talk a little bit about what the SU do and what the officers do a little bit later on. So do stay tuned for that. Next up, we have Sharon. Hiya, Sharon.
Hi, everyone.
Hiya. Do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Sharon. I look after all the fun activities that we have at Leicester College. We celebrate events, religious festival. We talk about different things regarding faith and belief. We've got 5 multi-faith prayer / reflection rooms. And so, we do a whole range of activities led by our students and what they want to see at the college. So it's a fun time at college, but also with a serious note in the sense that, if you want to learn about something, we're also here. If you want to talk to anybody about anything, we're here for you. So essentially that's what we do here.
Fab, cool. And last but not least, though Craig would definitely differ in terms of least or not, is Steve. Hiya, Steve.
Hello, Ashton. So my name's Steve, and I am responsible for looking after all of the sports enrichment that we do at the college. So any sort of thing that's related to sports, you getting involved in sort of any activities and things, I'll be the person that runs it. I've been doing this role for just over a year now. So yeah, it's about me in a nutshell, really.
Very nice, very nice. So we're sort of going to cover all elements of the SET team, and as you guys have just heard from everyone's introductions, everyone covers something different, so we're going to go through and talk to everyone. We want to sort of talk a little about what the SET team is and what you guys can do. So if you have any questions about, what it is or how you can get involved or anything, pop them in the comments and we will answer them throughout the stream. So do keep an eye out on those comments. But first, I'll have sort of some generic, what is a SET team? If someone was to say, what is a SET team? Dina, how would you describe the SET team in sort of like, 1 sentence?
Oh, 1 sentence. We cover the enrichment for the entire college. So we're looking after our students' needs, so to speak, at outside of main core curriculum. So we want to put on activities and events and give you a learning opportunity to engage in things that you may not have done, to enrich your learning outside of main college curriculum. So it's a supplement to everything else that you do, but hopefully it's the fun element of being at college.
Yeah. So could you tell us sort of what areas the SET team cover?
So we look at equality, diversity, inclusion. So that's where all the celebration of all the multi-faiths come in, but also things which are activities that are being celebrated. So it could be holidays as well. So it could be local, national, or international events like International Women's Day or Black History Month. So we'll be celebrating all of those events and hopefully educating our students as well at the same time. We have our sports, which Steve runs for us, personal development. So Rich has mentioned that he does the independent living, so that comes under there. There will be other elements that we will add to the personal development section. We've got our student voice, so we want to hear what you guys have to say. That will also inform us as to what we can do better to support you. So that comes through the student union and also through the student rep service. We've got employability, so we look at aspects of employability to help you gain the additional skills. For example, transferable skills that you need to help you in employment. And I'm just trying to think if I've forgotten something else.
Anyone been forgotten? Anyone want to shout out they've been forgotten, or is everyone?
I feel like I've forgotten something.
There is a lot that you guys cover. So,
and we've got our social spaces as well. So those are areas for the students to just come and hang, chill. We've got PlayStations, Xboxes that they can play games on, board games, card games. So, and we also put events and activities on in there as well. So, we've got lots of things happening and lots of fun things to help engage our students.
Fantastic, cool. So, how much will sort of students get to get involved with the SET team? Is there like a limit, or is it as much as you want?
They can get involved with everything. There is no limit. The more the merrier is our motto. So if you see something that, and we will be posting all of our events and activities on our Moodle site. So please come and have a look. And if you think, I'd like to have a go at that, come and join us. We'll have instructions on how to join or who to speak to in the team to come and show that you're interested. Come and join, get involved with everything.
Cool. So there is literally no limit. You can get involved with it every single day if that's what you want to do. It's fantastic. Yep. Okay, so let's sort of move on to a little bit more of a specific area now. So we're going to start talking to Richard a bit, just about sort of the student liaison and the independent living kind of side of things.
Yeah.
So what is sort of the one-to-one support work that you offer?
So the one-to-one stuff is we've got a fantastic mentor and counselling team at the college, but sometimes students might just feel a little bit isolated or might just need some positive activities to get involved in. So they can be signposted to me, and then I'll do some one-to-one work with them and try and get involved in all the stuff we do in the college and maybe some stuff outside the college as well, just to enhance their experience.
And sorry, you may have mentioned this, but how exactly would they sort of get in contact with you? What is the best way?
It might go through their learning coaches or the mentors or counsellors, or the best thing is just come and see one of us in the SET team offices or the social spaces, and we can discuss the needs and work a plan out from there. Cool.
So then, how the independent living and sort of personal development classes, what is it that they cover in those classes?
So we do quite a lot. It's an hour session normally, and we cover loads of aspects of that transition from sort of dependence to independence. And we talk about being professional and prepared, working on budgets, where you're going to live when you move out of home. We're looking at houses, mortgages, CV building, interview skills. There's loads in the sessions, and they are really, really popular. So I would recommend booking if you can do.
And it's not just because you run it. They're really good.
It's probably the best thing in the college, actually.
Good. So how would a student get involved in the best thing in the college?
So normally, involved in the best thing is normally I'm brought in by the learning coaches, and they just book me in, and I'll come and deliver the class in their LEAP sessions. At the minute, obviously, because of the situation, we're looking at doing some stuff remotely as well. So there's going to be some additional stuff online, hopefully we can do. But normally, yeah, the learning coaches will just book me in, and I'll come and deliver to the whole class.
Fab. And if a student hasn't had one of those sessions but wants to, is there a way they can get in contact with you and get involved in one?
Absolutely, yeah. Come through our Moodle site, or just to the set team. I can give out any information through them system sort of profiles as well. And I can do some one-to-one stuff if they need any certain information about the independent living as well.
Cool. So if you have any questions about independent living, get them in quick, because Richard's got to run and go and help some other youth working, so he's got to run very soon. But do pop that in the comments if you have any questions. The next sort of section we're moving on to, because like I said, there's a lot to cover, so we're going to go rocket through these, is course reps and sort of student reps, super reps, isn't it, Craig?
Yeah, that's correct.
Cool. So do you want to sort of tell us a little bit what a course rep is and what they exactly do?
So basically, a course rep, the clues in the name there, will represent each individual course and class. They're voted in via their class at the start of the year. Each class has 2, so that there's representation, and should one be off, there's somebody to cover that. Once we've got their names and they've been sent through to us, we compiled as a team, then myself and Harj compiled sort of a list, and then we all sort of email them directly as to once they're trained, that is, as to what they can get involved in.
Cool. So, sorry, let me get my words out. So what kind of training and stuff do they receive as a course rep?
So the training is about an hour to an hour and a half long, approximately. It's a one-off event that we do for each individual curriculum area, and it's just basically what being a good course rep's all about. We offer a point system. It used to be run on a gold, silver, and bronze basis. It's not anymore. It's now just sort of you can get up to 18 points, and you'll get a £30 high cost voucher, and that's based around the sort of the level of feedback that you give. So just it's really talking about meetings and what their responsibilities are.
Cool. And so hold on, let me try. I don't know what's wrong with me today. I think I've done too many live streams. Words don't make sense anymore. If I was a student, for example, how would I communicate to my course rep any issues, or what kind of thing would a course rep handle for me?
So a multitude of things, really. So in terms of communication, that'll be done within your tutorial group or your class. So obviously you'll have identified who your course rep is, so you should be able to approach them no problems. And it can be anything really, be it course related or sort of even outside of the college, really. There is a referral system around safeguarding and all sorts of things. So basically the course rep's going to act as a first port of call. Cool.
So I know you said there's 2 per class, but how many course reps actually are there at the college?
So actually trained up on a yearly basis, we normally get around 450, which makes us one of the largest sort of course rep systems in the whole country. And we're certainly the oldest because we actually piloted it with Kat Fletcher, the then NUS president. So we brought it to the table, so to speak, and then we've developed it year on year. So yeah, it's a very large course rep system, and obviously that feeds into the quality and the provision by the college. With that system of feedback, it allows us to provide a better quality provision.
Fab. So, I as a student, I want to be part of that. I want to be one of those 450. But how do I actually go about being a course rep?
So basically, your learner coach will speak about it to you in your tutor time, or your tutor will, and they'll just ask for volunteers, really. So they will bring it to the table. You don't have to seek that out. They will talk to you about it. There's now a short presentation that will actually be that they can play in the class, and then it's a case of who wants to do it. Based around who wants to do it, should there be more than 2, you hold an in-class election, basically, whereby you give a bit of a description of yourself about why you want the role, and then you vote. Each class votes their own course rep in.
So can you be a course rep for more than one class, or is it you maximum of 1 class per course?
No, maximum of 1 class. Yeah, cool. It will be your tutor group, basically. So you are the course rep for your tutor group.
Fab. So how much time does a course rep have to commit to the job? Is it a lot of time? Is it just alongside the studies? It's quite easy to do?
Well, it's a voluntary role. It does require a level of commitment, but in terms of time, not actually that much. As we've discussed, you've got your training event, which is an hour and a half. And then at the very least, you will hold a termly meeting within your class. So that's only sort of an hour per term. And then you could be asked to come to student council and student liaison committee. So the honest answer is as much or as little time as you can dedicate, depending on what constraints you've got in place. But it doesn't have to be that much. But obviously, the more you put in, the more you're going to get out of it. But it is there to complement your study and not hinder it. If you wanted to do the bare minimum of a year, it may mean 7.5 hours through the year. If you wanted to do a bit more and get to those points, because in order to get the points, you have to do a little bit more, like perhaps get involved in your own sort of campaign or awareness week or something.
Fab. Cool. So, you mentioned sort of the more you put in, the more you get out, and you mentioned the £30 high cost voucher. But what extra thing, what kind of thing would I get for being a course rep? So like benefits and stuff.
Well, obviously there's the kudos of that, of being a course rep. But basically, you're going to develop yourself personally. So you're going to get lots of transferable skills. Organisational skills, communication skills. How to run a meeting, how to voice your opinion in the correct way, and basically going forward with the way things are looking, you're going to become more IT proficient using the new forums and platforms that we're going to be using. And it just looks, at the end of it, it is certificated, so it does look good on your CV. At the end of the year, you can put it on there. It is something that you can discuss.
Fab, cool. So there is loads of benefits to being a course rep outside of obviously, helping your course and your class, and also getting that high cost voucher, which I'm sure is very, very big incentive.
Yeah, I do love that, to be fair.
So say I wasn't very, confident at, talking in front of people, and I was not necessarily the most confident person in the class. Would I still be able to be a course rep, or is it sort of you have to have that level of confidence beforehand?
I would say, no, it's to a degree. I've had some excellent students in the past that perhaps started off not so confident, and by the end of it, you can't shut them up. So, I don't believe you have to have start off with a level of confidence. However, you are taking on a role where, in order to do that role, you are going to have, you are going to have to communicate with people, and it's not necessarily about standing in front of the class and talking to everybody, because there can be a lot of work that goes on behind the scenes, depending on what you're doing on an organisational level. If you're organising an event, so they're not necessarily putting them at the front of the class on a pedestal. So all I would say is have enough confidence to get involved, and then that's one of the elements that we look to build upon, if you like. It's one of the transferable skills.
Fantastic, cool. So sort of along the same vein of course reps and getting involved with the college in a different way, there is obviously the Students' Union, which is a really, key part of the college life. So let me add Trisha back into the stream to have a little bit of a chat about the Students' Union and how students can sort of, or what it does for the students. So sort of the big question, I think, for a lot of, young learners is, what is a students' union? Because a lot of students have never encountered this before. So how would you sort of describe a students' union, Trisha?
How I would describe it is a group of students, and we're basically there to represent all the students in the college, and we work closely with that team, which is fantastic, and we can advocate for students on what they need to see a change in, any help that they need, and we get like certain information also from the student reps, which is, they are vital, and the council.
Wow. So a lot of it is, it's run by students for students in a lot of ways, which is fantastic. So how would I, me as a student Ashton, how would I get involved with the Students' Union? What would I have to do to get involved?
So you can easily approach the student union themselves, but if you actually approach the SET team, including Craig, that's a great way to do it. Also, just going to like any meetings or speaking to teachers, good access portals. I personally got involved in the student union via the super rep meeting, but I started off as a normal rep first, so I did progress through that ranking. But it's just about going to your social spaces and just talking to the set team.
Fab. And just sort
then you get voted in.
Fab. Just sort of clear things up as well. Would you be able to, maybe you or Craig, describe sort of what a super rep is?
Yeah, so I'll clear that one up for you. So a super rep is basically, or we like them to be, a second-year returning student, so that they've got an understanding about what being a course rep is. And then the super reps will generally sit in what we term as the student council, which is a committee that is held once per term, so only 3 times a year. And they keep the youth student union in check, so to speak. So it's an accountability meeting. They also task the student union with 3 key things to do throughout the year, and they check upon that at each meeting. And they also meet with key figures from around the college, like Shabir, for instance, who's obviously one of our deputy principals. And we have security in, and we could have refectories in or parking, and they can take them to task. So it's a very real thing. So yeah, really, in a nutshell, being a super rep is being a second-year returner, and you've got an understanding of the system and how it works. Fab.
And do you get a cape?
Yes.
Cool. That's really what matters. So exactly. So the next question, obviously, we have the social spaces, but do I have to be a member of the SU to use the SU space, or can anyone use it?
Yeah.
Anyone can use it. Do you want to go for this one, Craig?
I was going to say that, yeah. We need to get the confusion between social space and SU space. So the social space is run by SET, and it's open to everybody. It's an accessible space. But the SU office is only for SU members.
Cool. So there is that space. So I can see where the confusion would be, because social, I think I would get confused. So
any student can obviously, it's an open door policy. So any student's welcome to come into the office, approach the office. And, if they're working on something with the union at the time, that's absolutely fine. But it is not, the SU office is not a space for students to just come and chill out.
Fab. So next question I have, obviously, you mentioned a little bit about how you became an elected position, and you're the LGBT officer. Can you sort of talk about what the elected officers do, maybe what other elected officers there are?
Yeah, so we've got a broad range of elected officers run by an amazing team. They're remarkable individuals. We have Health and Safety Welfare Officer, and that's Lee at the moment. We have a Treasurer, a Councillor, President, which is Naz, which is remarkable. We've got Habiba, who's Vice President. We have Henry, who does
Vice
President for St Margaret. We have general officers, including Abra and Abdi. Is it Abdi? Okay. I'm not going to even mention names. But there is a sports one, there's BAME, there's loads of different ones to kind of get involved. We have got lots of spaces at the moment. Yeah, but anyone can run for an elected role. It's something most certainly fun and worthwhile to get into. And again, you just need to get in contact with Craig, like kind of go on with like, you get voted in, and what we tend to do is we'll have a specific role. So for myself, for instance, for LGBT, Lee, who's Health and Safety, co-ran this with me. We did Pride Month, which was actually really fun and interesting, and we set up activities, we help support people, and we also get that information out there. We work closely with SET, and we can actually give information and pointers about where to go. We also like to go to meetings as well. As Craig said, we do come to account where we are accountable to the student council as well, to make sure that we are doing what we need to do. But we can help create change and just, support each other, really.
Fab. And do you find that you do quite a lot of things, do students come to you quite a lot to ask, for different things to happen or any changes to be made? Do you find that happens quite a lot?
Definitely, yeah. So we do see that, and it's a really good one, because when students actually come to us, and talk to us via us personally or going through the rectory, then come to us, we can talk to the SET team and we can help make those changes or get the support in place.
Cool. And you were saying that anybody can run for this elected position. You don't have to have been at Leicester College for a certain amount of time. If it's your first year there, you can run, as well as if it's your sort of second or third year.
I'm going to pass that one to Craig, if that's okay.
Yeah.
I started in February as union, so just going to pass that over to you, Craig.
Okay, no problem. So basically, what we've done in the past, obviously it's different this year, is we run 2 elections per year. We run one in sort of April, May, and one in September, October. So the first one in April, May, so that we've got a cohort of learners in place for the new term, is just for 5 roles, and the second one in sort of, when we come back in August, September, is for sort of 16. Each year you have to get voted in, so it doesn't carry over. It's a 1 year post, and you can by all means stand again. You can stand for a different role, but you have to stand for election again.
Cool. Wow, thank you guys very much. Is there anything that you'd like to sort of add about the SU at all? Anything that you'd like to sort of say at all from either of you?
Yeah,
Sorry, Lee.
It does really help with your leadership skills, transferable skills, social skills, but you actually get to meet some really awesome people and build that networking. And for your personal progression and your self-empowerment, I would strongly recommend getting involved with the student union, because the thing is your uniqueness, your creativeness, that actually helps build up the college, and the college is for students. So, take lead.
Thanks. Pretty nice. Anything you'd like to add, Craig?
Basically, if you are watching or listening, just get involved. So just, obviously, uncertain times at the minute, but for those of you that are sort of coming back or enrolling onto new sort of courses, then find out where the student union is. Email me directly. My name's Craig Whitehill at leicestercollege.ac.uk, and I'll give you as much information as you need.
Fab. I feel like the motto for the SET team is just get involved. Definitely with everything. Fab.
Yeah, you don't be anywhere standing on the sidelines. Definitely get involved.
100%. So the next sort of section that we're moving into now is the equality and diversity roles and that sort of side of SET. So Sharon's going to talk a little bit about that sort of in general, but we also talk about like how important is equality and diversity at our college?
It's imperative. It's one of the most important strands that we can deliver on, because it's embedded in everything we do. It's not just an add-on. Luckily, we've got a great team that will try to put E&D, as we call it, in its broadest sense, and that's covering everything in terms of equalities and diversity into everything we do. So it's whether it's the course that you're doing, the teaching you're receiving, the services from the SET team, the services from the careers and welfare team. So everything that Leicester College offers has got E&D embedded, so in actually entrenched in everything we do. So we're really lucky for our college to be in that way. It's such a diverse community in Leicester. I think actually Leicester is the most diverse city on the planet.
I have to agree. Yeah, it's great. Yeah, obviously, like now more than ever, it's really important that we are celebrating, the diversity of our college. But how are, BAME students? And you might want to explain sort of what BAME stands for. How are they represented at the college?
So BAME stands for Black and Minority Ethnic category of peoples, and we have lots of different forums that our students can get involved with. We cover that within the student union. We cover it within our multi-faith chaplaincy provision. We cover it in every single element of what we deliver as the SET team, because we are such a diverse college. We want to include everyone. So we want males, females, from everywhere, really, all different backgrounds, faiths, beliefs, not any beliefs at all. So we want to be able to open it up to everybody. So not just the BAME community, which is obviously a very highlighted issue at the moment with everything that's going on, but also on the back of the current situation that we all find ourselves in. It's going to be scary to come back to college for a lot of people. So we want to be able to be there as a service so that you can give us a call, you can speak to us online. You might have some anxieties and sort of things that you're scared about, and we're just here for you to talk to, just in case you need that.
Amazing. So obviously, equality and diversity doesn't just go for race and gender. There's also the, able-bodied and being disabled. So what support is on offer for students who have disabilities?
Well, we've got a great disabilities forum. We have people that are specifically designed in the college to be able to support our disabled students of all the different spectrums of disability. We have a fantastic team that deals with students on site who are severely disabled, and they get involved. They come into social spaces, they take part in our activities. We actively encourage to join in with us, because it's such a nice environment for people to be in, because you're playing pool. It doesn't matter who you're playing pool with. You're going on a trip. It doesn't matter who you're going on a trip with. So we have many different forums for people to get involved with and voice their opinions and what they need from us. We haven't got all the answers, but we are student-led. We are student-driven. So those students will tell us, look, this is not working for me. Can we try something else? And we're always open to that, from any different background and from any different strand of the disabilities and equality and diversity policies.
Amazing, cool. So how would I, student Ashton, as previously mentioned, how would I get involved with sort of the equality and diversity programming and any of the events that we put on?
So we have lots of advertising going out on all the different social media forums for events and activities we've got going on. We have a program of events which mark sort of points within the year that we help to celebrate and raise awareness of. So coming up when we go back to college, whether that's virtually or physically, we will have Black History season. So we look at all the positives and what we can learn from people from a community which has suffered very badly, but what can we learn as the positives from it? So it's just trying to educate everyone in how they're going to hopefully gain something and live their lives, going forward, because we are such a diverse community in Leicester, but it's also a very rich diversity. Mm-hmm. So it's you can only benefit from being part of it. You can get involved in any way you like to. The set team are the majority of ways that I would say that you would come and access any type of event. Just join in. I think that's always the best way. We always, just rather than putting posters up, we like you to come and talk to us. Come to the social spaces, get involved.
They are, get involved. That's that phrase again. Definitely the slogan for the set team. So the next sort of question, with like the multi-faith and the chaplaincy and different faith beliefs that we have at Leicester College, are there prayer rooms accessible for all students at all times, or?
Absolutely. The multi-faith chaplaincy service is, I think, the only service available for FE, so that's further education in the whole of the country. So we're extremely lucky that we are supported by our senior management team and our principal. She's always behind us on that. But in terms of who we offer it to, it's everyone. People with a faith, people who are not sure about faith or belief, people who have no faith or belief whatsoever, just want someone to talk to, just want a quiet space to be in. It's very much a case of it's available for everybody. There's no specifics around multi-faith service.
Fab.
Although we call it faith, it doesn't necessarily mean that. It's just a service.
Cool. So talking of sort of faith and belief, if there was someone who had questions or just wanted to learn a little bit more about certain faith beliefs, who should they contact and what should they say, really?
They can come into our set team office, come to any one of us and ask if someone can just let me know. You can contact me direct, sharon@leicestercollege.ac.uk. We're all available, but specifically wanted to know something. We have a suite of chaplains. We call them chaplains. They're people that come as volunteers to work for the college in order to be able to talk to anybody that wants to know about a particular faith belief or a system that they're interested in. So they will be able to ask them questions and, you know, really anything if they want a bit of help and advice or they're just generally interested.
And I think so the next question as well, it's, you know, we're all very different in a lot of ways, but there's one thing we can agree on, and that is lunch is great. So, you know, how would students from different cultures and different religions, are there options for food and food from their cultures in the refectories and that kind of thing?
Oh, absolutely. We have chips. Who doesn't eat chips? You know, that's from our own culture, isn't it? Yeah. Those chips. But we definitely have the availability of religiously specific foods. So for our Muslim community, we have a halal provision. We have a vegetarian and vegan provision. We have your sort of standard foods that are available for everybody. We have healthy options. So we try to take into account cultural sensitivities with what we can provide. And it can be quite difficult sometimes because people have specifics, but our catering services are really on the ball like that. You can give them feedback and say to them, look, I don't eat gluten or I don't eat pork or whatever it is that your specifics are. They're really, really good at trying to manage that. And they fit in with some of the things that we do during the course of the year. So if, for instance, it's Black History season, we try to do some Caribbean food. If it's Diwali, we try to do some sort of Indian type samosa. So it's all geared towards what we do in the college generally.
Fantastic. There's definitely always options of trying new foods and new cultures. Even if it's not necessarily your culture, there is those options to try outside of your specific, you know, chips. You can try more than just chips, and that's great. Exactly. The last sort of question I have in terms of the equality and diversity, sort of like festivals and that kind of thing. Is it quite easy for students to celebrate festivals at the college?
Absolutely. We've got a whole suite of, again, a big program of yearly events. So we always celebrate big events. And even if students want to celebrate smaller events, then, you know, we're up for that. Absolutely. And if the students want to lead on it and they just want us to help them, then that's even better because it's led by them, it's for them. So any events that we do, you know, Christmas, Easter, Diwali, we do lots and lots of different festivals. Celebrate them. We do not try to say to anyone, this is better, that's better, you should join that. It's just a case of let's all join in together, appreciate diversity and culture, and be able to ask questions of each other as well. So that's the service that we'd like to do. Part of enrichment, part of growing as a student at Leicester College.
Fantastic. Well, thank you very much for talking about equality and diversity, Sharon. That was really informative and really great. It's nice to hear that those are all options for students. And essentially what I'm hearing is, you know, if you want to do something and you want to celebrate your faith or your religion or your beliefs, it's just get in contact with yourself or your tutors or your team and just, you know, take that advantage, get involved with it now, which is fantastic to hear. Next sort of question I have is a little bit more sort of generic focused. Got sort of like what type of things in terms of employability would students be able to sort of get involved in?
We run various types of events. So this year and last year we did some speed networking events, and what we do is get employers in for those events. So they all volunteer their time. It could be, we could have up to 30 employers who will come in to do a speed networking event, and they will feed back to the students during the event as well. Same with mock interviews. Again, we get external employers in. They run through various questions and they will provide feedback to the students. We will run workshops as well, along with the transferable skills. We look at transferable skills, communication, resilience, confidence building, body image. But where we can, we will also take them out to exhibitions and career fairs. So we had quite a few trips to the NSC this year. So we try to meet the needs of all our students across by helping them enhance their employability skills.
Fantastic, amazing. So the last area that we're going to focus on is sports and activities, and sports is way down on my list of things that I like to do. So I am not the target demographic for
isn't it, Ashton?
Exactly. It wasn't because of any other reason other than I just didn't want to talk about sports because I don't really like them. No, but we have a lot of sports and activities that Steve does organise and sort out for lots of students. So I want to talk a little bit about, what sports and what activities you run.
So the type of sports that we run, we basically have a group of core sports that we run that go on throughout the entire year, and they are generally the most popular ones that people tend to ask for. So the sort of the football, basketball, badminton, futsal's taken off this year. So we tend to offer those on a week-by-week basis. And aside from that as well, what we also try to do is if any students want to get involved in something that they haven't tried before, then we'll look at different ways of trying to put on an activity session where they can go and try something like rock climbing. They could do kayaking and just different things that they can sort of get involved in, see if they enjoy taking part in that, and it might be sort of a pathway for them to continue it outside of college. Amazing.
So how would student Ashton take part in one of these activities?
So at the start of the year, we produce like a timetable of activity. We will sort of publicise that, put some posters around college. It'll be in the sort of social spaces. We'll put it up onto Moodle as well. So it's just a case of if you see it, have a look, see what's going on. If it fits into your timetable, then all of the sessions are free to attend. So we're not going to charge you for coming in. As long as it doesn't clash with anything on your timetable, you can come and do it.
Amazing. So is there sort of any sort of specific, thing that I need to bring to get involved in the sports, like any kit or, a ball maybe? Because that's what sports are normally involved, isn't it?
Ball. Just bring a ball. That's what you need. Yeah. No, we don't need any kit. So in terms of all of the equipment, the college has already got it all. Anything that, say you wanted to do a new sport, then we can look at different funding opportunities to try to get some new equipment in if we haven't got it. But in terms of sort of kit, you don't need anything. As long as you're comfortable, you can come and take part in anything. It's not sort of that high intensity. We're not trying to make it super competitive. It's really just for you guys to get involved in, really. If you do want to take it a little bit more seriously and you want to put on, I don't know, your cricket whites or whatever it is, then we do have changing facilities as well at all of the sites that we run. So
cool. So say I've got my ball. I've got my ball and I want to go do some sport. Where exactly do I have to go? Where on campus would I need to go to do the activities?
So most of our activities are held at Morningside Arena, which is our sort of sports facility. That's in a fairly good location. It's not necessarily on a site that we have at Leicester College, but it's fairly close to Abbey Park campus and pretty close to St Margaret's as well. So we tend to do a lot of the sessions there because it's easy for students to get to. And then we also try to run some sessions at Freeman's Park to see the students there. So yeah, that's where we do it. We'll try and do stuff outside in parks, anywhere that we can find some space. If the weather's okay, we'll go outside. If not, then we'll try and fit it in somewhere.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, talking of going outside and just finding parks to play football in, do we sort of run any trips for students? Is there opportunities to go way off campus and explore new places, or what's the deal with trips?
So yeah, the set team run a lot of trips. So not just sports, we do loads of different things that you can get involved in. With regards to the sports trips, they can be anything. We're planning on going to some tennis tournaments this year. Women's FA Cup final was another one that was another trip that we were running. Unfortunately, they both got cancelled. But there's a lot of different things like that you can take part in. So watching professional sport. We do sort of mass participation events as well. So that can be sort of fun runs, Tough Mudder. If anyone wants to go and run around an obstacle course and get completely covered in mud, then they can go and do that. And they form part of our sort of charity challenge events as well. So Pravin, who's another member of the sort of active lifestyle team, he runs trips to do sort of mountain walks. So he'll take Snowdon, and he does residential trips to Ben Nevis in Scotland as well. So they're pretty cool things to get involved in.
Amazing. So there's loads and loads of opportunities to sort of get involved and go and do something like walk up a mountain or one of those casual things. That's what you want to do. Have you walked up any mountains? Anyone taking part in the Ben Nevis or Snowdon walks?
So no, only my first year, so they were due to go ahead now, but they just got cancelled. I was really looking forward. I'd even bought some walking boots.
I don't know. It definitely feels like excuses to me, Steve.
We've done the Snowdon one a few times. I have with them.
Nice, cool. Well, that's sort of about all the questions I have for you. I know that Adina sort of disappeared, so I assume she'll be back eventually. But do you guys have any things that you'd like to add or just sort of talk about in terms of the set team that maybe we haven't mentioned so far?
Yeah, I mean, I'll kick us off with that. I'll just briefly to say that obviously out of all the strands and the work that we do, they're all sort of set out to complement one another. So they're not really rigid and they kind of all do feed into one another. So for instance, with some of my SU or course reps, I'll work with Steve and we'll sort of introduce them to sports or get them involved in sports. And likewise, Steve would canvass sports students to get involved in the SU. Same with employability, same with faith. So each thing that we do just complement or try to complement one another.
Fantastic. Anyone else would like to sort of add anything in terms of anything we've missed off so far?
Get involved.
Get involved. Get involved. I think if you're a bit also if you come to college and you're a bit unsure, you know all your friends have gone to a different college or have started work, and you want to make some new friends and just want people to talk to, rather than your classmates, or you don't really know your classmates yet, then pop in and get involved with the activities, because you'll make new friends as well. They may not be from your own class, but certainly, you can make cross-college friends and just have a bit of fun and, do something different to actually just study, although we must emphasize that is a priority. But but in terms of getting involved, then, come and see us. That's the best thing. Come and see us and find out what's going on and what kind of floats your boat, really, in terms of what you're interested in. But certainly if you're feeling a little bit unsure, you don't know where things are even, where's the refectory, where's the prayer rooms that I can access, who can I speak to, I want to get involved with football, who do I go and speak to? You just come and talk to us. We're based at every single campus, so you've always got someone to communicate with.
Fantastic. So yeah, I mean, the worst that can happen is you end up walking up Snowdon. So really, there's nothing to lose here.
It's brilliant up there, Ashton. You need to go. You'll love it.
Once I've recovered from my broken leg, maybe I'll make it halfway up Snowdon. Maybe
the train. You just take the train. Meet us at the top.
Yeah, I'll meet you at the top.
One thing I would add is where the set teams can be found. So, like in Abbey Park, in the canteen, as in St Margaret's. In Freeman's, you've got a sort of a discovery to be made, and you are going to be excellent at making it. But it also has one of the best rooms ever, including.
I would say that just try to make the most of the opportunities that you've got. at college because we have got a great service and provision, and it's there for you, so you might as well use it.
Yeah, definitely. And like Trisha was saying, it is a bit of a maze to get to the social room in Freeman's Park, but it is like a little secret hideaway at the basement. So it's quite a nice room, yeah. And there is a pool table, so you can't really go wrong.
And the biggest TV.
And it is the biggest TV I think I've ever seen. So we do actually have some questions from Facebook, just to sort of spring at you as we sort of end the stream a bit. We've got, what if someone is feeling anxious about going to college, and that's from Kai on Facebook. Do you guys have any sort of advice on what's best to do? Yeah.
Sorry, if I can just answer just before Trish. That would be.
Is that for anyone to answer? Can I answer?
Oh.
Guys, let's not all jump on.
Quite excited for answering this one, mate.
Yeah. Oh, I think Dina's just dropped out, so we'll pass it over to you, Trisha, on this one.
You know, feeling anxious is okay. It's actually one of nature's amazing things for self-growth. And, you know, when we learn about fear, we learn about, that's where our self-growth comes to. Being anxious about something like this is normal, absolutely. And it's making that first step to even apply it and then say, you know, I am going to do this. You know, you're already growing in yourself. Taking deep breaths, practicing meditation will always help. And sometimes it's like, focus on one thing that you want to achieve, set that goal in mind. And when you come into college, remember that goal, write it down, and then obtain it. And then like get in touch with SET, get in touch with others lot, get engaged. And, you know, before you know it, you know, when you look back, you're going to be wondering, why were you anxious? But it's like, just take a breath, mate. You're going to be absolutely epic and you're going to do amazing. Have trust in yourself and have faith in yourself.
That is a quality pep talk, that is. I feel like I'm ready to go and like smash something.
Just going to add to that. So, you know, where Rich has his one-to-one independent sessions, support sessions. So if you are feeling anxious, then Rich can work with you as well on that, so to try and make your situation a little bit more easier, to help put some techniques into place as well. But yeah, it corresponds with what Trisha was saying as well.
Cool. There's also outside of the SET team, there is the Aspire program, which will help you sort of get that support, meet new friends. And if you want to hear a little bit more about that, Kai, if you check on our YouTube channel, the previous live stream, we had Alessandra there talking all about it. So it's definitely worth checking out if you are sort of worried about starting college. But those are all the questions I have for you guys. So thank you so much for joining us. This has been really sort of useful and really informative, which is fantastic. Do you sort of have any, you know, little last minute bits of advice for students that are meant to be sort of starting in September or anything? You know, maybe 2 words that really hammer home what the SET team is all about, possibly anything along those lines, or
fun.
You are amazing. You are amazing. You can do this. You're going to rock it. And this is the first step of your
fun.
growth.
Come talk to us. Come do something different.
Yeah.
We're all about the students, about you. So, you know, come and tell us what you need. We'll try and put something together for you, but it's all about having fun as well.
Cool. And obviously, 2 words, Craig, hit me with it right now.
Get involved.
There we are. Very nice. Cool. Amazing. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. We'll be back a little bit later on with an Access to HE course, or I'll be back. These guys are going to go off and start, you know, doing amazing things for the students. But thank you so much for watching. Have any other questions at all, or you're watching this back after it's been broadcast, message us on Facebook, Instagram, however, or email us at info@leicestercollege.ac.uk. Check out the website for the SET team's info. It's all on there as well. And do keep having a look and do keep asking us questions, because we'll do the best to answer the questions for you. But that is all we sort of have time for. But thank you guys so much for joining me, and well, see you soon.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.